Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you're here. In today's video, we are doing a side-by-side comparison, wear test, and review of the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint Foundation and the Morphe 2 Hint Hint Skin Tint. So this one came out last summer, and this one actually just came out, I think, about a month ago. I have played with these separately, and I enjoy both products. I think that there's some really good things about both of them, but I would like to try them on at the same time, side by side on my face, do a wear test, do all the rest of my makeup exactly the same, and see how these two products compare, because there are some similarities, but they are very different in some ways. And so I think in order to really get down to which one is the best skin tint, we need to try them out together, side by side on the same day, and find out for ourselves. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the review. So first, I have my little glass palette here. These formulas are very thin, so I find that it works best to work with a glass or a plastic palette in order to apply them. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to go into my Morphe 2. I have already primed my skin with my Milk Hydrogrip primer, as well as my e.l.f. Eye Putty primer right here, and on my nose, since that's where I get oily. And I'm going to take my palette and I'm just going to drop about half a squeeze on, because usually for my full face, it's a full squeeze of the Morphe 2 Hint Hint Skin Tint. I am in shade Hint of Ivory, and I'm going to take my kabuki brush and just apply directly to the face. I do find that a brush works slightly well for this product, mainly because it's so thin. If I use a sponge, I find that the sponge just eats up most of the product, and it doesn't actually make it onto my face. Using a brush means that I maximize the product, and I think that that's really true with a lot of thinner formulas. Similar with BB creams, just thinner consistency products overall. I feel like I get more bang for my buck in terms of payoff and my product going a lot farther when I use a brush versus when I use a sponge. So that applies really quickly, really smoothly. You can already see that product canceling out all of my redness. You can still see my skin shining through. You can still see my freckles. You can still see a little bit of a cheekbone there. It does a nice job of canceling out some imperfections while still looking like my skin. Right off the bat, I'm noticing that it's a pretty dewy formula. It's leaving my skin pretty shiny. This is definitely not a mattifying product. That's not really what it's meant for. It's a skin tint. It is meant to kind of color correct while still letting your skin shine through and keeping some of that dewy texture. That's really what this was marketed as. It was marketed with that Charli D'Amelio and Dixie D'Amelio campaign last summer, and really the look is all about being youthful and fresh and dewy and very low coverage. And that's really what this product is meant for, and it's delivering on that. It's not my normal go-to, but I find that when I'm doing a low coverage, very simple look, this product is something that I reach for. All right, so this is my fresh side of my face. This has no makeup on it versus this side. You can see a clear difference. You can see all of that redness being canceled out. You can see some of the imperfections being blurred. It doesn't emphasize too much of my texture, but at the same time, it's not giving me, all the coverage in the entire world. And it is looking like skin. In my opinion, it does look like skin. It just looks a little perfected. All right, so next we're gonna go into the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint, and this is in shade 1. I am in shade 1. I am the fairest of them all. I'm gonna take a little bit more on my glass palette, and just a small amount, because I find that it goes a pretty far way. Both of these products do, actually. And again, same thing with a brush. I'm just going to go in. I might need a little bit more. I'm going to go in and spread that across the skin. When I squeeze this out of the tube, it is a thicker consistency product rather than the very liquidy product that you get out of the Morphe. This one is much thicker. It seems that the tones are very, very similar. And honestly, they're looking very, very similar so far. I think the Morphe one has slightly more coverage just based on the amount of redness that I'm seeing peeking through in my skin. But ultimately, they feel the same. They feel the same on the skin. They feel the same to the touch. I am looking in the mirror right here, and honestly, it's very difficult to see a difference, if there's any difference at all. Both are pretty dewy formulas. They're very light coverage. They really cancel out the majority of the redness that I have in my skin. And it's really blanked everything out for me to add a little blush, add some bronzer, and really spice up my look without it looking like I'm wearing foundation or wearing any sort of product on the skin. You can see freckles on both sides. You can see that nice little dewy sheen to the skin on both sides. Similar, I'm looking right here when I'm shifting my face. Yeah, it's looking pretty dewy. So we have applied both. So far, not really seeing any difference at all between these two products. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup. I'm going to use the same exact products on both sides. So I'm gonna go off camera, I'm gonna finish my makeup, and I will be right back to give you my thoughts after the look is complete. Okay guys, I am back, and what do we think? The makeup is complete. I'm really liking this look today. It's not what I was going for, but I just kind of let the eyes get away from me a little bit. But I overall really like this. I like how it looks. It looks very natural but glowy. I feel like I have good coverage of my redness, but my skin still looks like my skin. And so far the products have laid down pretty nicely with both. I can't really, honestly, tell a difference. Kind of what I suspected, but I think where we'll start to see a difference is as it wears over time. I am interested to see which of these products last the longest, which one gets dewier faster, if one wears off, if one starts to get weird throughout the day. I will say that on this side, which is the Fenty side, just right here where I have the e.l.f. primer, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it is laying just a little bit weird. But it's so, I don't even think it's really noticeable. It's just so slight that I don't think it's noticeable. I'm gonna try to zoom in and you can kind of see there's some weirdness going on with my pores here. But overall, both products are laying very similarly, even around my nose, around this area where products can kind of get trapped in crevices and cracks and all of that. They are looking extremely similar. And overall, I think they look exactly the same as of this moment. What do you guys think? All right, with that, I'm gonna be doing check-ins throughout the day, and we're gonna see how this lasts, and I'll give you my final thoughts at the end of the day. See you soon. All right, so this is what it looks like in the bathroom in natural sunlight. This is the Fenty side. This is the Morphe side. Overall, both looking extremely similar. And it's been about an hour and still looking pretty good. A little bit of creasing there, but literally every single thing that I put on my skin creases right there. So we'll see how this goes. All right, I am about to start some lawn work. So we're gonna put this roll to the test and the sweat test, because one of the things that the Fenty Beauty one claims is that it is like sweat and humidity proof. So we're putting that to the test. It is a very hot day in North Carolina. We had about a high of 89 degrees today. So what do we think? I've already kind of started. Ooh, my mulch bag is blowing around and it's very loud, but it's been a couple of hours. We're starting to look pretty dewy around the nose. It's breaking up a little around my mustache area because I'm getting a little sweaty doing the work. Overall, not seeing an incredible amount of, sorry, there's a truck that started. Not seeing a lot of change yet, but I imagine by the end of this, we'll definitely be able to see. And honestly, I'm still not seeing a ton of difference. yeah, really I'm not seeing a ton of difference at all. I really can't tell the difference between the two sides. And we're gonna see how all of this sweating and outdoors work holds up. All right, guys, it's my last check-in of the day. It is 11 p.m. and I am going to go to bed here really soon, but I wanted to show you what my face looked like before I went and washed my face and give you just my final thoughts. What do we think? I'm here back in front of my lights, and truthfully, I can't tell a difference. This side-by-side wear test really did prove what I suspected, which is that these products are very, very similar. If I zoom you in closer, yes, this is my real skin situation. So really broke up here, and in this area, I did sweat a lot while I was doing landscaping. So that had a lot to do with it, but you can see that neither side looks better than the other when it comes to right here. And it did break up quite a bit. And I have had that experience with this product, even just wearing it on a regular day where I wasn't doing landscaping. So just something to consider. I think that's largely due to the oiliness in my skin. I did get quite a bit of kicking up, settling into fine lines right here. But truthfully, there is like no foundation that I've ever been able to find that doesn't do that. So that is not abnormal. And frankly, it doesn't stand out too bad. We are a little worn out on the sides of the nose here and a little up here. This is where I was kind of like itching my nose a little bit earlier. So that's mainly from the oil in my fingers. But you can see it did wear off. But overall, it has worn quite nicely. It's pretty dewy. You can see I'm pretty shiny, but not extraordinarily shiny. I don't feel like I'm too shiny. I did touch up in my T-zone with a little bit of powder about 3 hours ago, which is normal. I wanted this to be like a normal makeup day, and I did have to touch it up with powder to kind of calm down some of the oiliness and just make this comfortable, but that's a very typical thing that I have to do. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's because of the products, although my skin does look a little bit more dewy than it would normally, but honestly, I think it just makes my skin look a little bit more alive. It looks a little bit more normal than like if I were wearing a full foundation, a full like coverage or even a medium coverage foundation. And it feels nice. It feels comfortable. My skin feels good. Overall, they're both excellent products, but there's not really a ton of difference. If I'm gonna be paying like $13 for the Morphe or $30 something for the Fenty, I might be more inclined to choose the cheaper one over the more expensive one because there really was not a ton of wear difference between the products. So just keep that in mind. There is a significant price difference, and honestly, can you tell the difference? Because I can't. So anyway, guys, that is today's video. That is the end of this review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It would mean so much to me. I enjoy making these videos. I hope you enjoy watching them as much as I enjoy making them. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna go to bed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.